There's a photograph, etched now into modern memory, of Meghan Sussex standing in the London rain, cloaked in an electric blue Victoria Beckham dress. The light hits the wet pavement, the droplets glow like diamonds, and Meghan, hand in hand with Harry, is incandescent. That image from the couple's final royal engagement became more than just a fashion moment. It was a message, a declaration. You may try to erase me, but you cannot unsee me. From her very first steps into royal life, Meghan used fashion the way a poet uses verse, to speak truth with elegance, to declare her place in a world that would rather she shrink. Her wardrobe has always been intentional, highlighting women-owned labels, ethical production, and overlooked designers. She didn't just wear clothes, she elevated people, and the world noticed.
Welcome, this is Majesty Sussex Report, and I'm Antonio. Thank you for spending some of your valuable time here with us.
Anna Wintour, High Priestess of Fashion, called Meghan inspiring and praised her for bringing modernity to an institution mired in centuries-old symbolism. In Wintour's words, Meghan's solo walk down the aisle represented a turning point, a duchess in control, in full bloom, unafraid to take up space. But Meghan's innovation didn't stop with wedding gowns. She introduced monochromatic camel suits, structured trousers, and impactful coats that nodded to heritage while whispering resistance. The now famous British Vogue September issue she guest-edited, it sold out in 10 days, outselling every edition of the decade. She chose not to be on the cover, placing 15 trailblazing women instead. And yet, the UK media berated her for being too political, too bold, too American, too herself. Contrast that with Kate Middleton's cover shoot for Vogue in 2016, celebrated, glossy, and perfectly palatable. The message was clear: if you're going to play dress up, make sure it's quiet, white, and apolitical. Here was a duchess bringing fresh modernity to a stale institution, and doing it with impeccable taste. Meghan often elevated designers that most royals never would. During her Australia tour, she famously chose local, lesser-known brands, from a pair of Outland denim jeans to sustainable sneakers, causing their sales to skyrocket. After she wore Outland's jeans, the company said the surge in orders enabled them to hire 30 more seamstresses, a direct, tangible, positive impact of the Meghan effect. Time and again, clothes Meghan wore would sell out within hours, her fashion choices breathing new life into labels and even providing economic boosts. It's no exaggeration to say Meghan sparked a new energy in royal style, one rooted in inclusion, innovation, and authenticity. She wasn't content to dress pretty and smile. She wanted her style to mean something. And millions around the world responded, seeing in Meghan a royal who represented them, who dressed for them, and who wasn't afraid to break the mold. Yet from the very beginning, British media and royal commentators relentlessly picked Meghan apart for the very qualities that earned her admiration elsewhere. It became a tale of two narratives. In one, Meghan was a breath of fresh air. In the other, spun largely by the UK tabloid press, she was a rule breaker at best, a villain at worst. Nowhere was this double standard more obvious than in how Meghan's fashion and professional endeavors were covered in contrast to her sister-in-law, Kate Middleton. Take Meghan's high-profile project guest editing British Vogue's September 2019 issue. An issue she filled with trailblazing women and meaningful content. That edition, titled Forces for Change, became the fastest-selling issue in British Vogue's history, selling out in 10 days. In fact, it was the magazine's biggest-selling issue of the decade, a smash success by any measure. One might think this achievement would be celebrated, a young royal harnessing fashion media to champion women's voices, but the British press response was anything but celebratory. Instead, Meghan faced sneering criticism that a royal editing a fashion magazine was too political or unbecoming. A Daily Fail columnist, Sarah Vine, even derided Meghan's roster of inspirational women, sniffing that, half of whom no one's ever heard of, all seemingly chosen more for what their inclusion says about you than anything else, scolding that there's a difference between fashion royalty and actual royalty. In my humble opinion, this shows Ms. Vine has her head way up someone's posterior, because my mother knew of all the women in that issue. In other words, know your place, Meghan. The subtext was clear. We prefer our princesses seen and not heard. One British commentator huffed that the House of Windsor isn't the place for glossy magazine endeavors. Never mind that Meghan's intentions were clearly altruistic and in line with royal charitable tradition. As one independent editor noted, she's actually trying to do what is expected of royals, which is charity, philanthropy, using Vogue to promote good causes. The hypocrisy becomes glaring when you recall that Meghan was far from the first royal to dip a toe in media or fashion collaborations. As many observers pointed out, Kate Middleton herself had posed on Vogue's cover for the magazine's 100th anniversary issue in 2016, and even guest-edited the Huffington Post. Prince William graced the cover of GQ, and Princess Diana was Vogue's cover star multiple times. Even the Queen Consort, Camilla, had guest-edited a radio show. None of them were crucified for it. The UK media narrative was that Meghan had overstepped. How dare an American duchess use Vogue to put her mark on the royal family? Meghan wore a messy bun. It was labeled sloppy. Kate wore it months later. It was called chic. Meghan held her baby bump. It was attention-seeking. Kate did it. Tender. Meghan wore a white pantsuit, tailored, modern, powerful. Kate followed in nearly identical versions, again and again. In July 2025, after stylist Natasha Archer left the royal household, an Instagram account believed to be hers went public. The account followed not only general fashion sources, but Meghan's specific ones, fan accounts like @WhatMeghanWore, and close friends like Daniel Martin and Abigail Spencer. It didn't take long for observers to realize the Princess of Wales's stylist had been studying Meghan's circle like a syllabus. This wasn't coincidence. This was strategy. When Meghan joined the family, insiders said it was like a rocket had hit the palace. The energy shifted, the optics changed. Meghan wasn't just fashionable, she was redefining what royalty could look like. Modern, global, black, independent. And rather than embrace her, the palace chose to copy her while cutting her down. Kate's team evolved in Meghan's shadow, adjusting silhouettes, colors, and energy. The irony? Meghan had been criticized from every angle for her choices, only to have them repurposed, sterilized, and praised when draped on Kate. It's as if the palace wanted the look of Meghan without the woman herself, an erasure in beige. Fashion is not just about fabric, it is identity, politics, power. Meghan's style was never just about looking good. It was about doing good, partnering with SmartWorks to provide professional attire for unemployed women, choosing sustainable labels, and showcasing designers from marginalized communities. Her authenticity was the threat. Kate's wardrobe, by comparison, began to resemble an AI-generated echo, polished, photogenic, and eerily familiar. The copycat game became so overt it bordered on satire. And still, the press played blind, pushing the narrative that Meghan was the imitator, the disruptor, the diva. But here's what cannot be duplicated: presence. Meghan's presence, the confidence, the purpose, the clarity, is stitched into every outfit she's ever worn. You can copy a silhouette, but you can't clone substance. In the court of public opinion, and indeed in the annals of fashion history, Meghan Sussex stands out as the royal who brought the House of Windsor into the 21st century, however begrudgingly the media may admit it. She injected a dose of modernity and inclusivity that the monarchy sorely lacked. She showed that a royal woman can be both a humanitarian and a cover-worthy style icon, that she can use her platform to talk about substance without sacrificing glamour. She opened doors and maybe ruffled feathers by proving a duchess can be editor and influencer as well as wife and patron. And yes, she paid a price for it in the tabloids, but she also inspired millions. That legacy is something no amount of spin can erase. So let the British press keep up its tired attacks, and the palace aides continue their quiet copying. Meghan Sussex's impact speaks louder. The double standards have been exposed, the receipts are in, and the world can see who the real original is. In the story of royal fashion and media hypocrisy, Meghan emerges as the protagonist, the woman who wouldn't be silenced or molded, who charted her own path and forced an ancient institution to either modernize or be left behind. The fact that others resorted to mimicking her only cements her status as a true trendsetter and a threat to the old order. And to that, I say what many a frustrated admirer of Meghan has wanted to scream at the UK press. Look in the mirror, folks. The reflection staring back is one of obvious envy and vindication. Meghan was the original all along. The rest are just playing catch-up.
1,400 to be exact, which also included Prince Harry's ex-girlfriend. This woman was a creeper, but make no mistake about it. This was through extension of Kate, because what employer has no idea what their employee is doing on their social, let alone their business account? See, this is what I should have made a lot clearer yesterday. This is bigger than fashion, you know? This is not about who imitated who, because that's an ongoing battle and it'll go back and forth. This is about someone who was the right hand of a senior royal member stalking the most interpersonal circle of Harry and Meghan with no connection. Letting it be known that they are bothered and invested in what Harry and Meghan are doing. And it wasn't just to find Meghan in a fashionable moment. It was to get the ETA of both Harry and Meghan. Why? Because if you notice all of those headlines, what are they doing? Writing up stuff about Harry and Meghan's friends, their businesses, their locations, just everything that's connected to them, being completely creepy. And their only sin is they are friends with Harry and Meghan. They've never disrespected the royal family. They've never went out of their way to assault anyone who assaults Harry and Meghan. It's just one of those things that I said, it's sick, it's depraved, and somebody needs to tell Natasha, screenshots are forever, and she will never, ever be able to live this down, bitch. We got receipts. Now, what I wish we would have done under a cooler head was print screen all of her followers. Because if I bet, I'm 100% certain that if we would have went down a rabbit hole, we would have found courtiers, we would have found journalists, we would have found palace aides, all those people who live under all of these anti-Harry and Meghan accounts, we would have clocked them and exposed them. We kind of have already. A lot of us have already, and some of them, like Richard Eaton, don't know how to switch from their burner account to their personal account, and they just expose themselves. Makes our job easier, right? Now, I don't know if Natasha had a blonde moment or if she left out of there in a huff. Either way you slice it, the Sussex squad is vindicated for everything that's been said over the years about that creepy ass, loser ass palace situation. And what's even more funnier is this is all being paid for by the British taxpayer. This is where your money is going on this bullshit. So don't worry about me buying some shortbread cookies or some fucking wine. Worry about why your hard-earned money is going towards the harassment and trolling of 2 people, 4 if you want to be exact, who you don't have to take care of. A whole ocean away. You all should be in heaven, but you just can't let her go. But high five, squaddies, I'm telling you, the scrubbing is beginning. Scrub-a-dub, bitch, we got receipts. So anyway, talk to you guys later. Bye.
And now we arrive at the tattered hem of a tale that reeks of royal mimicry, stitched in cowardice and paraded as pageantry. What a curious thing. This institution that would rather plunder a woman's essence than honor her presence. A palace so infatuated with protocol it forgets propriety. So fixated on image it can't see its own reflection distorted in the silken thread of hypocrisy. They took from Meghan Sussex her dignity, then her security, then her voice, only to repackage her very light and crown it on another's head. The Princess of Wales, God love her, now wears coats cut from courage she did not earn, earrings echoing empathy she did not live, and a walk that wobbles beneath the weight of borrowed grace. And the media, those Churchillian bastards in cheap waistcoats, played their part with relish. They turned journalism into javelins, headlines into hounds. They took a woman who curated Vogue with integrity and impact and declared it too ambitious. They dared to mock the very excellence they've since allowed another to inherit. Let us be clear. You can sew a dress, mimic a pose, even study the Instagram feeds of those you envy, but you cannot counterfeit soul. And Meghan? She had soul in every stride, every shade, every sleeve. She is the original. The rest? Well, they're still looking for the pattern. And somewhere in a quiet corner of Montecito, the Duchess rises each day unbothered, unbought, and unbowed. While across the sea, a monarchy wears her silhouette like a second skin, praying the public won't notice who wore it best. But we saw. Oh yes, we saw.
Even though perhaps I think I might know the answer to my own question, I wonder sometimes why it is that it seems that the decisions that are being made on behalf of or that they are approving of, and I mean the whales, they just complicate things more. They just make things even worse. Like, why would she even want to not be herself? Dress the way you want to dress. Why be a copycat? You have everything in your power not to be that. But they decide to be that instead. It's the weirdest thing. Same as when I look at decisions that William has taken or has agreed with. I'm just left speechless, really. Because the alternative is actually better, is to do good, is to be a leader rather than be what he is right now. It's just absolutely nuts. But as they say, the truth is sometimes stranger than fiction, right? I think that the entire quote is from Mark Twain. Truth is stranger than fiction, but it is because fiction is um, ob- obliged to stick to possibilities. Truth isn't. Fascinating. Well, folks, thank you for taking the time to watch or listen to today's episode. And to all of our new subscribers, bienvenue, welcome, bienvenidos. It's an absolute pleasure to have you join our little choo-choo train, the train that can and could and will. So thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for your comments. As I said before, I read all of them, and I'm trying to get into the habit of responding when I'm able to. So, but I think actually what I should do is have maybe I'll have an episode on just comments because we haven't done one in quite a while. So maybe that's a good idea. And thank you for your support. As I said, to our legacy subscribers who've been here, thank you for your continued support. It means a lot to me. And to the members, thank you so very much for being a member to this channel, for being um, my 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 counsel in many ways. Thank you very much for believing in what we do in this corner. So that's it, folks. For now, I I think I just saw that we have a new member too. So welcome. You will be receiving a little note from me very soon. And thank you for being here. Love you, folks. Take care of yourselves. Please find moments to just love yourself. Just find moments to just do something that will bring you joy. Find a moment that will make you smile, that will make you love. Because we need more of that today more than ever. We need to send that energy into the atmosphere, into the ecosystem. All right. Love you all. Thank you so very much. Until we speak again. Bye for now. Mwah.